Hey guys, it's Molly. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here and that you took the time to stop by my channel amidst all the craziness going on right now. And I hope today that you will feel encouraged when it comes to your children and managing them in this difficult time. So I'm finishing up my 3-part series on motherhood, and I said I was going to do this last video on how to value your children. Well, I thought I would change it up a little bit because of the whole coronavirus thing going on, and just that's on our minds a lot, right? So today I want to just change it a little bit to how to value your children in the midst of crisis, in the midst of a lot of stress on all of our plates as moms, as dads, as parents. The things I wrote down, I really feel connect to a lot of difficult times in our lives as adults. But I'm kind of coming from the perspective of my perspective of going through divorce, going through separation, and how I tried to work through that with my children. And some of these things I've carried on through with the situation that we're in right now. And so I hope it encourages you, and let's get started. I just have 4 things to share. So the first one that I feel like is so important to share, because I don't know about you, but I have been short-tempered. I have struggled with not being zoned in and focused on my kids as much as I should, and just kind of like on a very small fuse, like getting stressed and like losing my patience. So the most important thing to value your children is to say you are sorry when you make a mistake, when you yell at them, when you lose your temper, when you're not giving them attention they need, all of those things. I have to tell my kids a lot of times, I'm really sorry for what I said, I'm really sorry for snapping at you. And that's so good to do, because it shows your children that you're teaching them to say they're sorry, you're teaching them to ask forgiveness, and you're showing them how it's done, and you're showing them how important it is. And it also helps you realize that there's like this redemption process of coming through when you make a mistake as a parent and you feel so bad and you're like, well, I'm the adult here, should not be the one that's got it together. And we don't always have it together, right? We make mistakes. So saying you're sorry to your children is so important, and showing them God's love and God's forgiveness. And kids are always so gracious, always are like, it's fine, Mom, I forgive you. And it just melts my heart to see how quick they easily forgive me. Number 2 is be honest with your children about whatever is going on in your family situation, whether that's the coronavirus, whether you are going through divorce, separation, some kind of loss in your life. I think it's so important to let your children, opening it up for them to ask you questions. A lot of times I feel like kids aren't going to ask questions unless you give them the opportunity to say, do you have any questions? I will sometimes just ask my kids, do you have any worries or concerns? Or you have any questions? And sometimes my kids will say, no, like, I don't. Okay, great. But sometimes they do. And when you create a space for them to ask questions, that gives them the opportunity to open up, because kids are just learning how to communicate, and it kind of sets a stage for open and good communication. I think it's so important to not lie to your kids, to not sugarcoat things, but to be honest with them. And like, if you don't know the answer to something, say, I don't know. Of course, saying what's age appropriate at the time, but giving them maybe short answers, not giving them 100% of every bit of the detail, but short answers, but being honest with them, I think is so, so important, because kids are smart. They hear us talking. They're aware of things going on. And so we want to be the ones that are telling them the truth. Number 3 is something that I don't know if it necessarily, it kind of refers to crisis situations, but it kind of encompasses any situation to value your kids. And I see a lot of moms, not a lot, but I've seen some moms do this, and it's like a pet peeve of mine, and I'm just like, I don't get it, I don't understand, like, why would you do that? But it's to be very careful what you post of your kids on social media. I've seen moms post things where their kids are having a temper tantrum, or their kids are upset, or like their kids are sick, and they're posting pictures or videos or something, or they are like frustrated about their kids, and like they're posting a video of that happening. And to me, it's not honoring to your children. It's not what you would want. If you were having a bad day and you were crying or you were upset about something, would you want that posted on social media? Probably not. And so I think it's super important to be wise about what you post about your kids, knowing that they are their own little people, and they probably don't want you posting every little thing about them on social media. And last, and number 4, I think a big key to value your children in a difficult time is to create a strong family environment. You want your kids to know that we are a team together, that we are working together, we are here for each other, and that we're going to get through whatever we are going through. It is so easy, and I have done this so many times, and let me kind of explain it, because I don't want you to think that there's no room for adults' emotion and the things that you're struggling with, the things that you're dealing with, to have those emotions and to express those emotions and to make mistakes. But here, this is what I'm trying to say is I think it's very important for you to be present for your kids and for you to not run off and be like, well, I'm dealing with this, so I can't focus on them. And I've made so many mistakes where I have felt like I've emotionally distanced myself, not necessarily physically distanced myself, especially in this last week. I feel like I've been on my phone all the time checking things. And I know that's not good, because I know I need to be present for my kids. And I've also had times through divorce and separation where I've sat in my bathroom, closed the door, and talked on the phone while my kids watched a show, just so I could talk with somebody about the emotions and the things I was dealing with. And I think that's okay to have times where we do that. But I think also we have to be careful that we're not being so overwhelmed with our own emotions that we're not acknowledging and being selfless and being aware of our own children. I think I've seen people take a trip when there was a difficult time in their life, to get a break from their kids and to kind of recharge for themselves. And I think there's times for that, but I think we also just need to be really aware that our kids need us in difficult times. And sometimes valuing our kids is to just be there for them, and knowing that it's not always going to be this way, but there's times where they need us more than others. I have specifically in my own life, I've had one child that has needed me a little bit more through everything we've gone through with divorce and separation. And it's been something I've had to work through, and I don't always respond well, and sometimes I get frustrated, but I have to realize that this little child needs me, and that it's not always going to be this way, and it's important for me to be the adult, for me to be the parent. So that's all that I wanted to share today about valuing your kids in difficult times. I hope that it encourages you. I know that we are all in this together, and we're all learning and growing, and we're all making mistakes, and like I said, having to say we're sorry to our kids and starting over again. But I just hope that you have a good week and that this gives you some things to think about. I will see you guys in my next video. Hang in there, and I'll see y'all soon. Okay, bye.